Yeah. Another Casablanca Spirit of Saturn. This time, in my favorite finish, black and chrome. This is also the earliest Saturn that I own, and very, very close to being the earliest variant that was ever made of these. It's a little dark because I'd like to show off the light.
There's a 15-watt light bulb in there right now, so it's really not all that bright.
Yep. A singular, I don't even know what that type of light bulb is called, but one of those long,
Intermediate base.
not so much the base, but the shape of it.
Oh yeah, that I don't know.
Those very long, skinny tubes. I don't think I properly showed the tag, but this one is from 1986. What's that?
I thought it was 87.
No, it has U, so it's from 86.
Interesting.
And therefore it has flick mode.
Even though it is RMM2.
No, it's RMM1.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
It's been so long, I didn't even remember.
His brain is fried from PA meat. So that's it at full brightness. And what's interesting about this first variant is that there is almost no light output from this thing. And this center shade, that's not glass, that's acrylic or plastic.
And one interesting thing is that you cannot remove this centerpiece unless you open the switch housing and remove it from the inside of there.
I guess I'll turn this fluorescent on, which is actually an LED strip. Okay, let's go through demo mode. Per RMM1 standard, it has incredibly high-pitched beeps. Pretty much the only imperfection that I can see with this is that the blades are slightly drooping down a little bit, but it doesn't really affect anything. The most important part is that the Intelitouch still functions.
I forget if we mentioned already, but this does have new bearings.
Oh yeah, but that's pretty typical. Did this need a new flywheel as well?
Yes, it has a new flywheel too.
Okay. Is it a 4 or 5 blade one or a 5 blade one?
Well, it originally had a 5 blade only, but now it's got a 4 and 5 blade flywheel.
Okay. It's fine by me.
The original flywheel was barely hanging on.
Yeah, these blades are heavier than usual, so it makes sense. So for anyways, but about this light. So there could only be one bulb in there because if there were the 3 bulbs like in the later version or the halogen in the latest version, then it would you'd be at risk for just melting that plastic. So they had to switch that over to glass later on so that you could have more light output.
Turn the power off.
Oh, nice.
Airspeed 1. I also had to replace the hanger ball. The hanger ball was missing when I got it.
I was going to say, this came on a pretty long down rod from the original installation. So this came from Marketplace, and you want to do the honors of telling the story of this one?
So the story of how I got this fan is absolutely insane. It popped up on Marketplace by the Jersey Shore. So I originally was not going to get it. I sent the listing to Matt. And it was like right as he was leaving New Jersey or something like that.
Yeah, it was listed maybe like 2 hours after I had already like left and started driving out of New Jersey, so I wasn't able to get it.
So I messaged the guy, and what ended up happening was I had arrangements to go pick it up for the following day. Around, I think, like, what, 6 or 7 p.m. I think it was. So I go all the way out there to get this thing. And this is one of those people who did not want to give his address. So we originally agreed to meet in a Home Depot parking lot. And he never showed up. Right as I got into this parking lot, he starts saying, "Oh, the police are at my house. I can't give you the fan right now." And
Not a red flag at all, by the way. Or something that you should maybe ever admit to someone you don't know.
And he was trying to explain this whole thing to me. And he was essentially saying I could not have the fan that day after driving almost an hour and a half to get there. And I was pretty pissed because I essentially drove all the way there for nothing. So I hounded this guy out of anger to give me his address because I was like desperate to get this thing because I did not want to drive all that distance for absolutely nothing. Is that speed 4?
Yes.
That is speed 4. But he eventually actually gave me the address. I pull up in front of this house, there's like 3 police cars there. And so I cannot go there, so I went to the corner store down the street to just wait. And then after sitting there for like 15, 20 minutes, 3 cop cars went by. So I said, okay, they left. Let's see what happens now. So I go back down to the house, and I tried knocking on the door. Of course, no answer, because there was an eviction notice taped onto the door of this house. So I will never know the full context of what happened, whether the seller of this fan was the landlord or the tenant, but something happened.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure the seller also spoke like completely broken English. Like that's not too abnormal on its own, but it was one where it's like you could barely even understand like what he was trying to say.
So how did I end up getting this fan? Well, that trip was a wasted trip, as you can imagine. I had to go all the way back home with nothing. The next day, the guy came all the way to where I live, not my house, but the town where I live, and we met at the Wawa around the corner. And he brought it all the way here, and I got a $30 discount on
I'm really glad he brought it all in one piece. And just put all the...
minus the hanger wall.
Well, yeah, but I'm glad I just didn't put all the parts to it in his trunk and just let it slam into each other on the way over here. And speed 6.
It's full tilt. So that's definitely one of the more insane stories of how I acquired a
It
fan.
seems like there's always a story when it comes to you and Marketplace specifically.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's just because in general Marketplace is such a disaster, and if you do enough trips to places you get some stories out of it. I mean, we've probably done over 100 Marketplace trips easily. So even though most of them go normally, there's certainly a fair share of absurdity.
I'm just so glad the fan is here and not still lost in this rental house right now.
Yeah. And another thing is apparently there was another fan in the house, supposedly the same one as this, but in white, per the seller's words, that he apparently sold to somebody else.
I forgot about that part.
But none of us saw that on Marketplace, so I assume it was to
He actually
someone he knew.
He gave me the canopy to that other Saturn.
Was it a Saturn canopy?
No, it was just a regular hang tree like this one,
Oh.
but it's actually over here.
Oh, well, maybe it still could have been a Saturn, though, because the steps canopy for these didn't exist until at least the second or third year.
So for the other Saturn, I got the down running canopy
So,
and the crossbar
oh my gosh.
and hang tree hatch. And that was it.
So how's the other person going to install it then if you have all the mounting hardware?
I don't know what the story was with that. It just made no sense whatsoever.
We'll have to turn into a hugger. So, maybe one day I'll find a white and chrome one. I've been, I think there's been at least 2, but maybe 3 instances of me almost getting one, like very, very close to getting one, and then it not happening. So, maybe one day. I think my ultimate goal as a collector, since this is probably my favorite fan model of all time, is to get all the finishes of this, which is going to be incredibly difficult because of mainly 2 finishes, but also 3. The green one, the pink one, and then the black and white one. Black and brass is very doable, and white and chrome should have been doable hypothetically, but I assume that will happen at some point. I've had white and brass, copper and brass, and now black and chrome, so those are the ones that are left. But yeah, if you have any of these fans and you want to sell them to me, let me know, of course. I don't care if it's broken or not. Oh, and one last thing is that of course it had an LED bulb in there when he first got it, and it didn't damage the light board circuitry, thankfully, but it also wouldn't turn off if you hit the light button. It would just get dim and stay on.
LED bulb it came with. I'm trying to find it. Oh, it was in here. I don't know what happened.
It's basically the same as this one, but it had those like orange dots for each of the like little diodes.
But anyway,
There you have it. A first year Casablanca Spirit of Saturn. Thanks for watching Planet Fan Spin again.